Top tower getting pushed a little bit by our creeps, but not too much. Not a ton of damage from those creeps. Have a little damage going on there on Fire Striker, pushing back the Annie. Talk does need to be careful. Annie doesn't turn around. Oh, arrow missing us barely slightly. Evo Pigeon and Talk from top lane though. Top lane arrow. That was very close. Ash is fairly decent with her arrows there. Now sporting, looks like she's going for Trinity. Not Trinity. Infinity Edge, having her pickaxe and her BF sword. And Mumu going down bottom here. Now sporting a Null Magic Mantle, almost in Sunfire Cape. And now over 6,000 getting taken out yet again. And he is just having a double charm. I have double Philo now and Boots of Lucidity, but they are going to end up taking out this tower. There's just nothing I can do against two heavy tanks like that and Annie. And I'm just building my up my AP, trying to get, you know, auras as much as possible or any other types of items. Fire Striker, they're taking a little bit of damage, not going to have to worry about that too much. Does now sport a needlessly large rod, so obviously he is going heavy AP. Oh, and ButtonMasherz getting caught out of position there as they try to take our red buff. However, because they are both AP, they aren't going to get it quite as well. I'm setting up a Cyclone there to make sure that they do not actually get red buff. And we ended up swiping those two side creeps, and we're going to get the red buff for Evil Pigeon there. And we're just sitting in these creeps here. I'm trying not to attack to let them know that I'm not here, just in case they do come by and they just think it's them too. So we're just coming up here. We all do have our ultimates just in case. And now Evil Pigeon does have the red buff, so we can come down here and guard against, I believe, 4 of them so far. Talk is going to end up pushing top at the same time. Over 6,000 does need to make sure he's a little bit out of position. Going to get caught by some damage. A stun followed up by an arrow. I do shield, but it's not going to matter. All 5 of them down here. Over 6,000 just getting ripped a new one. And now we're in trouble because they are trying to just initiate the hell out of us. ButtonMasherz does get a bandage toss, does take some harassment damage though. I'm trying to just use my Q as much as possible, having to watch out for that knock up there from Fire Striker. And yeah, just trying to harass them as much as possible. Tower doing a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. And I'm running low on mana, and so is ButtonMasherz on HP. So we're just trying to ensure the fact that they don't get this tower. And I'm just trying to ensure the fact that I kill these creeps if possible. Here comes Karim here, trying to do some damage. ButtonMasherz does use his ultimate, however, it does end up getting taken out there. I using my ultimate a lot, just a tad bit too late to save him and knock them back. And however, they do end up not getting the tower. So Baron here actually taking some damage from that tower. Oh, and now it's swapped to Fire Striker, building up stacks and then killing Fire Striker. So nicely done. Chasing after them just a bit here. I don't feel like we're actually going to follow. No, we're going to pull back there. And at least we held on to this tower. In the meantime, Talk just took up top tower. It's now going for the secondary tower here. And they have one person down, but they had to back, and they're all the way down here. So they're going to have to blue people before they actually get up here. Top goes to Q a creep. Ends up queuing right into an arrow. So, but it does end up getting the tower and is now going to actually run away, I believe. However, we do have a ghost there from Ash, and now Rammus is now powerballing. Talk does blow his ghost there to try to go away, going into the brush there, but flashes at the last moment before he can actually use his taunt. Nicely done, Talks. However, here comes Annie. I don't believe Annie actually has her stun. No, Annie does not have her stun. Does get a Tibbers off on her, but Talk is going to get away just fine. Oh, Talk goes back in for some reason. I don't know why Talk decided to go back in. Does get hit by a stray arrow and taken out. However, we do get the Annie, and we are now going to get the Ash as well. Yep, so there's the Ash, and now Rammus is in trouble now because now he was out of place, not able to do anything for the Ash. I do believe I just got my stun, so we get a stun up on him, and we are doing quite a bit of damage, slowing him down, making sure he doesn't get anywhere, and at the very last second he gets away. So I was telling Talk when he was running down here that I was going to come and shield him and make sure that he survived. But he turned around at the last moment and he decided to fight right then. In hindsight, I wish he would have waited just a little bit longer because I was about here at the time that he decided to fight. And he ended up getting taken out. However, we did get 2 kills off of that and those 2 top turrets, which was hugely crucial. So now it's 11-17, and we have pushed the bottom tower, 2 top towers, and we're getting ready to get middle tower, so not bad at all. I'm just here taking a couple of their golems, and Talk is looking to defend bottom from Fire Striker. using his ultimate to try to take out those creeps. We do end up getting middle tower there. Karim coming a little bit shy, too late to do it. And Talk now trying to do some damage there on Fire Striker, but not enough. I believe Evil was trying to come around to try to do something, but far too far away to do anything of measure. Just so everybody knows, this was rather a normal game. This was not a ranked game on Teammate 5. And like I said before, I didn't play with these guys before, so we had no real strategy. I was just trying to get footage for Janna, so the support. And I believe Button was trying to get footage for a guide for a Mumu. So at this point, if I pause this really quickly here, at this point we're sitting at 22 creeps for me, 170 for Misfortune, 169 for Aurelia, 80 for Amumu, 82, and on the enemy team, 177 for Cho'Gath, 116 for Ashe, 111 for Annie, 53 for Sona, and 79 for Rammus. So yes, I do have very low creep, but that was my intention from all along. I just wanted to make sure that I gave as many as possible to Misfortune, and for that respect, Misfortune does now have the most amount. Oh, I'm sorry, Cho'Gath has the most amount because of his Q and W, but she is beating Ashe by quite a bit, 170 to 117. So now we catch Fire Strike out of her. Fire Strike taking tons of damage, ends up dying to Evil Pigeon, and he looks like she was trying to come from behind, but now we're ultimately without. We're going in there without the need of anything, but we are going to end up taking out Ashe, taking a lot of damage from Annie and her Tibbers, but we do get a nice stun off him, going for Annie, of course, and now this is where the game turns around. We're going after Rammus. Rammus does Powerball away at the last second. We don't end up getting him, but here we have Talk going in here, getting taunted, but going to end up taking out the Rammus with a nice little knock up there, and now look at that, Crisis being taken out, and there's the ace. Aurelia does die to the tower, unfortunately, but it's 16 to 18, and we just made a hell of a lot of progress. So now we end up going to go for Baron, I believe. No, I think they're debating it. I said, no, it's not a good idea, guys. I really think we should have just pushed. So we're just going to push up the creeps, and I really just wish we would have pushed towards this tower. They really wanted to do Baron, but I was like, nah, not so much. So I was trying to lead them, you know, making sure everybody was trying to get the most out of a ace as possible, which I don't believe we do. I believe we could have pushed that tower, but you know, oh well. So we do have a ward here. We do know that Dragon's back up, so I do believe we're going to get Dragon. Evil Pigeon almost getting taken out there, and look at this. Watch this. Evil Pigeon comes here. Right here is Cho'Gath, and Cho'Gath just turns around. Like, okay, there goes Evil Pigeon scurrying away. Yes, he gets away, winning. And I don't know what that means, but Cho'Gath was like, oh, they're free kill? Nah, that's okay. He just runs away. I don't even know why Ashe. I guess Ashe didn't have an arrow. Maybe it already used it. But look at this. Over 6,000 here. Caught up here. I do get a Cyclone out there to try to get them from dying. He tries to take out Annie. Poor guy didn't have his flash up. Gets caught in there, unfortunately. Over 6,000 did have a killing spree at that point. So 408 gold awarded. Not bad. And now Cho'Gath pushing mid again. He has 3 stacks here. He has a death cap now, and it's a null magic mantle. And then up top we have, of course, Ashe there with the Infinity Edge. Looks like she's building towards a Phantom Dancer. There we go. And we have a Sunfire Cave, a Ruby Crystal, and a null magic mantle for the TheButtonMasherz. We have Evil Pigeon sporting 3 Doran's Blade still, Infinity Edge, a Zeal. And Aurelia sporting Trinity Force, Force of Nature, Merc Treads, and still that Philistone. And I believe also a Heart of Gold. In the meantime, I'm sporting Shirelli's Reverie, Ionia Boots of Lucidity, and Elisa's Miracle, whatever, for the Tenacity. Because I wanted to get the cooldown reduction, but I still wanted to make sure, because they have a lot of slow and a lot of kiting potential, that I had the Tenacity as much as possible. So I do have a lot of regen, and pretty much I'm just using all of this here to ensure that I maintain my levels of mana and regen and everything, maintain, you know, gold per 5, and just basically try to provide auras and everything possible for my team so we can get to the target. Right now, the only problem we have in team fights is that their Rammus and their Cho'Gath do such a great job of just providing just a block. Here we have Toxo going for Aurelia. Aurelia going for Ashe. Ashe, however, Talk decides to just go ahead and go for Ashe, taking him out. Fire Striker is on his butt. but he does Q into Fire Striker to slow him down, and now he is on the move. So Talk looks like he may actually get away. We're trying to intercept there. Oh, comes into the Sona though, and look at that. Too much CC, gets taunted, and is going to end up being taken out. And I believe at this point we decide that we're going to go in. Yeah, so we're going to go in and we figure, okay, their range DPS is down. We still have ours. We have support. So we're going to decide to go in. However, the Buttonmasherz decides to actually go in with a bandage toss on Rammus. Very bad idea. And as you can see, look, there are 2 tanks in the front cutting us off from the main damage. And when I'm trying to get in there to actually, shield as much as possible, I get taken out almost immediately before I can even do my ultimate. And this was very bad placement on our part. Ended up getting, only taking out Rammus, which is the tank, and we lose 3 people. So that was not an even fight there. Props to the enemy team for actually providing that little barrier there. And Annie was just able to free reign, do so much damage. Evil does get away there. He is now sporting 352 ability power, so quite a lot of ability power. But yeah, it was so hard to get through the line because of Crysis's ultimate, which stuns. Of course, Annie's stun. And then you have the knock-up and stuns, or slows rather, from Cho'Gath and Rammus and the taunt. So getting through that line to get to the squishies, if they're in proper position, is very hard. And we paid for it dearly right there. So we're looking at 18 to 23 for the enemy. And we do have a tower lead advantage and I believe dragon lead advantage as well. But they do have, of course, the actual kill advantage. But I do believe we're still ahead at this point. As long as we keep these lanes pushed, we're okay. We don't have to worry too much. And I believe they're just checking to make sure they're not actually doing Baron or anything. One of us here soon puts down a ward. I believe ButtonMasherz has, ButtonMasherz has the ward for it. And now Cho'Gath is sporting a Guardian's Angel. So he's going to be quite hard to kill. Coming up on 35 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 35 minutes. And it's still anybody's game. A nice ace or a push would put this game in anybody's favor. Who knows? Ashe still going, has the heal now. Ruby Crystal, probably going to build that into a Banshee's Veil. Doing just a little bit of harassment. Fire Striker, though, being a nice AP tank there and just waddling in. Look at him. Oh, arrow goes on Talk, though. Talk, I do end up busting out my ultimate here just in case they were actually going to initiate. And we're pretty much back up to full. They wasted Ashe Arrow, which is their main initiation. I'm coming here, but look at that CC. Look at all that CC. I try to put up my shield there on Aurelia. Karim getting talked down and over 6,000 having to back off. And see, they're pretty much all alive. I don't believe they lost anybody. Did they? No, we both lost one. They lost Annie. We lost Talk. And so here we are just trying to keep this tower up. ButtonMasherz, though, taking lots of damage. Does get away with 16 HP. I believe I shielded him at the last second. But we're going to end up losing this tower here. As Cho'Gath just makes sure to actually tank that for them. Evil Pigeon needed to make sure all Rammus needed to do was waddle over there and taunt him. He would have been dead. But that linebacker line, really hard to get through. So now, tower-wise, we have their outer 3 and one of their inner. They have our outer 3 and one of the inner. So now we are even in tower kills. Only advantage I have to say is we have slightly more creep. Slightly more creep kills on our carry. But overall, they have about the same spread out through all their characters. And we have, of course, Dragon. So I am now going for the, I believe, I am building Soul Shroud to ensure that I get maximum cooldown reduction, just kind of provide that cooldown and mana per 5 for my teammates. And I believe with them middle here, we decided to go, we're going to go for Baron. With Misfortune just kind of acting as distraction here. They're still kind of low, I believe. I don't think they backed off completely, or maybe they have. It just hasn't updated. But Misfortune just trying to keep the creeps off this inhibitor tower as long as possible for us to get Baron buff. In the meantime, Baron's about halfway done, so Misfortune does use her ultimate there to keep him off. And they don't have a ward here, so they don't know we're actually doing it. We do get it this very second here. And I don't believe they actually have vision here on Misfortune. So we're going to come around here and try to get a gank off on them. They have all gone missing though. My clairvoyance is down. I believe I'm just about to use it right here. Oh, but we have Sona and Ash coming in here. Evil Pigeon does boast out Ghost. However, we are going to go in instead because look, all the squishies are on the backside here. Talk goes in there, gets focused extremely hard, does flash out of there. I do use my ultimate there to keep Evil Pigeon and ButtonMasherz alive. We end up taking out the Annie there, and now we're trying to get to the actual Ash. Here I come. Talk and me do end up taking out the Ash here. In the meantime, though, freaking Viger getting triple focused. But here comes Talk here, going to end up taking out Baron, taking off his GA. We switch then to the Sona. Going to end up taking out the Sona possibly. No, Sona does get away, but we turn around and do take out the Rammus. So a little bit better positioning would have been nice for us. We could have gone for the Ash a little bit farther instead of having to go through the 2 tanks to try to get the Sona. It was only me and Talk. But we did come out ahead with 2 deaths to 3, so just barely. And now we are going to focus this tower here. So Evil Pigeon doing work to that tower. I believe I do shield him here in a second. No! Here comes Talk though, diving the tower, getting Crisis killed. Crisis a little bit too overzealous here. And we're just going to keep pushing. They still have 3 down. One of them just about to come up here. And we are doing work on this tower. And going for Fire Strike and going to take out his GA here. We're not actually looking to kill him. We just simply want to take off his GA. So we've got the inner one. And Evil Pigeon getting hit. And is probably end up going to get taken out. Yeah, he does end up getting taken out, unfortunately. However, we do trade for Annie. So Annie just came up and just went back down, which was good. I tried to save Evil Pigeon, but however, a Cho'Gath that's AP and his ultimate is just going to outdo that. Have some creeps down here that need to actually be taken out. And Baron here go up top, going to end up going for using his ultimate to take out the mini wave. Has a GA, has double heart, triple hearts of gold, and an Aegis. I'd like to see him actually sell one of those about now. I mean, we are, what, level 15, 16? Yeah, I mean, it's about time for you to swap that out for a Sunfire Cape or whatever you're having ailment. So I don't actually know what Rammus is taking the most damage from. I believe it's from Talk here. So a nice Sunfire Cape would definitely help mitigate that. Meanwhile, we have Cho'Gath in mid here, who has, yeah, he's building an Abyssal Scepter for the magic resist, and of course the anti-magic resist. And I believe at this point I have, yes, I built my Soul Shroud, and I'm going to go for Abyssal Scepter now, I believe. ButtonMasherz going for Force of Nature, of course, and over 6,000 here, building a Crystal Scepter for the slow, now sporting a total of 400 AP, so very nice, getting up to quite a bit. We do have a Banshee's Veil, of course, for Evil Pigeon, Longsword, and Phantom Dancer as well, of course, Infinity Edge. And now the enemy team is pushing up here, trying to counter that, trying to go for Inhibitor Tower as well. Talk now does put, of course, GA. Has a lot of tankiness. And right now we're just kind of doing this Mexican standoff. I'm about to lose my Baron buff, I believe. So we only have 2 people left or so. Baron trying to come in from the side, however, it's not going to be. He's going to see Talk, going to back off there. And just try to take these creeps out, keep them actually pushed backwards. So now we have a Mumu moving up here, possibly to get something going here. I forget where I'm using my clairvoyances. I use them just pretty much just to try to spot things. We do have Sona potentially coming in, but Talk does not go for him. However, Talk does now choose to go for the Sona. We do have an ultimate there, doing a lot of damage, but so much CC. Oh, so close. Does end up getting picked up by 2,000. Going for Karim now. Karim a lot of damage. However, look at this. Our Evil Pigeon getting hit by Baron a lot. Fire Strike coming in, taking me out. Talk now getting kited. And Talk might end up dying. Yeah, Talk ends up dying. We do end up taking out the Annie. But now over 6,000 in a bad spot. And I don't know what Misfortune is doing. But Fire Striker is now legendary.
An enemy has been
So what went wrong there in that team fight? I mean, it was 4 for 4. But I feel like we could have came out 5 for 4. Or 5 for, 2 maybe something. is that we let Misfortune just get hampered way back here, and we tried to go through the tanks again, all that CC to try to get to Sona. And you know, focusing Annie and Ash are our primary targets. This tower getting hit a lot. Over 6,000 running for his life, trying not to die. This tower taking quite a bit of damage there from those creeps, if I remember. And we do have a Mumu coming up here to clear this creep wave. Firestriker 6 stacks, sporting 372 AP and 3,000 HP. So really hard to take down. Does a lot of damage. Very tanky. But not the actual primary source of damage, I have to say. Just, he is a lot of damage. But, you know, Cho'Gath is kind of like hybrid. So tankiness, he's not quite as tanky as a normal Cho'Gath, someone that just goes a lot of ages and then into tank. But he is going to be doing a lot of damage there. And he can do this because they already have a Rammus who's going full tank. My drink just ran out. So I'm going no drink for the rest of this shoutcast here. We're going to end up pushing up here, pushing this creeps back. We really want to get in, get that inhibitor, push forward. Misfortune coming down here, taking out these. Aurelia going almost full tank. Random's Omen, Force of Nature, Guardian's Angel, Philistone, and Trinity Force. ButtonMasherz almost has it. Needs about 50 more gold. I'm building now a Guardian's Angel, just so that I can ensure that I come back at least if I'm the primary focus. And Evil Pigeon just doing some nice harassment. Firestriker completely surrounded, gets tossed up, slowed, all kinds of stuff. Gets his GA down. We're going to go on here Baron just because Baron's right here. However, at this point, we do end up needing to go for the Ashe and Annie since they are the primary focus. A nice ultimate for me does keep them mostly alive. Talk here taking a lot of damage. However, Sona is just in the middle of us right here. And those two end up getting away with the kite, but we do end up taking out Crisis here. And Baron's going to be next. Double kill there from Talk very nicely. And here we are pushing mid about half HP. All that's left is Annie and Ashe. Not going to be enough to stop us. Pushing this inhibitor tower here.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
And I believe we go from one of these guys here. Doing some harassment there. Here goes Talk. Goes in. Gets stunned underneath the tower though. I shield him at the very last second. He gets away with barely any HP. We end up taking out Ashe there, and we are doing work on these towers there. But however, we lose creeps. We don't have enough creeps. We're just trying to kind of keep them back. However, their team is only Cho'Gath's about to come up. We decided to back off here though, and decide to go and get their enemy buffs. I think they were debating going for Baron, but I felt that we were too much low. Too much harassment, didn't have our spells. Yeah, they're pinging it, but I believe we only get Baron once. Or maybe we get it twice, I don't remember. Oh, we go for Baron, okay. I don't even remember, we're going for Baron here. Shielding myself because I was taking stupid amounts of damage from big old Baron here. ButtonMasherz comes in, and we just have Sona here protecting top. Bottom is equalizing out, and Baron and Crisis here just kind of making sure it's okay. Sona going Riley's Crystal Scepter, which I don't actually agree with this so much. I mean, yes, it's good for a slow, but she is their main style of support. They already have a lot of AP, so they don't need more AP. What they need is, you know, extra heals, extra mitigation, you know, auras, etc. And I feel like she could have gone more survivability, something like a GA or more mana, or if she is going to go, you know, AP items that give her more tankiness, or Rise, because I don't know. Just I don't agree with her that being her next item after a Soul Shroud. You know, going like a Shirelia's Reveille like I did, good choice, or even just some Philistones or something to build up her AP. So now we have regrouped. I almost have my GA. I only needed like 300 or something, or 100. We do, yeah. I needed like 100. I think I had like 1,300 or 1,400 rather. We do end up taking out Dragon here, but not enough time to go back to base. We're just going to keep on pushing here. Evil Pigeon now supporting a Last Whisper. Over 6,000, finally building his death cap there. Has, of course, his Rouse Crystal Scepter. Talk hasn't bought an item in forever. Baron here, out of place. But we do not want to go for Baron here. We want to go for the carries, and that's what we're trying to do. Going in there, getting a nice little knock up there at the very last second to take him out. I do put off a heal there, of course, to actually heal off my teammates so that we go back in. But look at all this. This is like a cock block from hell. So ButtonMasherz does end up getting taken out. Evil having to flash away. Talk going in there. His GA does end up getting taken out. I'm trying to harass as much as possible. However, Crisis is right there, going to end up getting taken out. And at this point, we have a low Annie. Annie is going to get destroyed here. Maybe. There we go. And now it's just Fire Striker. Fire Striker, the last one left. I do shield him. He is going to back up, but there is a tower there. Talk doesn't care. He's a baller. I'm coming in here to support Talk as best as possible. Fire Striker can take a lot of damage, and I get the ace. So in this whole game here, I get 3 kills and 22 assists. So I like the ace. There's the GG from the teams, taking out these towers. ButtonMasherz actually went to the bathroom at this point, so he's not even here. And there's the GG. There's the surrender. 4-1. Almost had the double Nexus explode, but not quite. And yeah, so that was a nail-biting game for a while, and you are now spawning Super Minions. Victory! So, Super Minion victory. It's pretty awesome. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. It was pretty nail-biting, like I said. If you liked it, please remember to thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done that, etc., etc., etc. And I'll see you guys for the next Shoutcast. Spunkify out. Later.